From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Wednesday morning. It's 5:30. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for kicking off your day with us. And good morning to our friend Miller over in the Weather Center. And I think there's lots going on in the forecast. You just kind of, one of those weeks you don't know what to expect unless you're watching and paying attention.
This is the symbol for this week. Up and down, up and down. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. Hey,
just go like this.
Yeah, there you go. Woo. Yeah,
that's the whole week. This is just 2 days.
That's the whole week.
The hand is just 2 days, and then the arms are the whole week. Okay.
I'm going to make a movie reference. Have you ever heard of that movie, The Last Dragon?
The Last Dragon.
Yeah, we got that glow. Look at that in the background. Nice little glow going on.
Why did you just bring up The Last Dragon?
Because they got the glow. You ever heard?
Oh,
because they got that glow. Okay. I'll just move on before I hurt myself accidentally. All right. Yeah, we do have a nice glow in the background there. The sun's slowly starting to make its entrance here on a Wednesday morning. It's not a bad start out there as we take a look across Billings, courtesy of the Stockman Bank weather cam. A bit chilly out there, though. 25 at the airport, feels like 14. Humidity at 78%. Dew points at 19. Winds out of the southwest at about 12 miles an hour. Clear skies pretty much all around. We do have a few passing clouds out there. Aberdeen Hill, Sheridan, seeing some clouds out there. Your temperatures 18 and 15 respectively. We've got Cowley at 19, Gardner at 18, up at Big Timber at 22, Broadview at 20, and we've got 23 in Columbus. Highs today, upper 40s to low 50s. A beautiful day with lots of sunshine on the way. We'll go with a high today of 51 here in Billings. Of course, that is still several degrees below average, about 7 or 8 degrees below where we should be, but we're going to have lots of sunshine, so get out there and enjoy it while you can. We start off tomorrow with lots of sunshine, and then we'll start to see the changes move in. We are not done with snow yet. We'll take a look with that main forecast coming up.
Miller, I'm watching the Last Dragon official movie trailer.
It's a great movie.
It's the karate one, right?
Yeah, it's got Bruce Leroy in it.
It's 80s-tastic. Like, that's all I have to say.
Oh, there we go.
I'm watching it on silent on my
It's the Shogun
computer.
of Harlem. There's Bruce Leroy. And Show Enough.
Yeah.
There he is. He was such a great bad guy.
I don't know if you could pay me to watch this, Miller.
It's a great movie. It's 80s cheese. That's all I'm saying. A cheesy 80s movie, but it is so much fun. Check it out.
It has 58% on Rotten Tomatoes and 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
It really is it's a fun movie, and the fight scene with Bruce Leroy, and Show Enough at the end, it's really good. It really is a lot of fun. If you got a couple of hours, just pull up the popcorn, kick back, relax, and just enjoy.
Well, now I know everything I need to know. You were a cool dude back in the 80s, I'm sure.
I got that glow.
That was, by the way, to add to all this, it was made in 85, the year before I was born, so.
I still got that glow.
You still got that glow. It's fading a little, but you got it, Miller. All right, enough of that. I'll get on to the series of the news. Thanks. Our top story, guilty on all 3 counts. This morning, the world is reacting to Derek Chauvin's conviction in the death of George Floyd. The 45-year-old former police officer is facing decades in prison. His bail was revoked immediately after the verdict was read, and he's expected to be sentenced in June. Minnesota law requires Chauvin only be sentenced for the most serious charge of second-degree murder. That carries a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris addressed the nation shortly after the verdict was announced. President Biden said it proves no one should be above the law. He said he hopes the verdict ensures people of color do not fear interactions with police officers. Vice President Harris called the verdict a sigh of relief, but added it cannot take away the pain. George Floyd's murder led to protests all across the nation, even right here in Billings. Over 1,000 people marched downtown last June in a fully peaceful demonstration. Ken and Amber Palmer helped organize that event and called yesterday's verdict a step in the right direction.
My stomach was just in knots because I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, with cases that have happened like this previously, there has been no punishment.
I wasn't prepared for them to say guilty. I was hoping beyond hope that they said guilty, but I was prepared for them to say not guilty. So them saying guilty was a huge relief.
And just hours before the verdict was read, a black teenager in Ohio was shot and killed by police responding to a call of a potential stabbing. CBS's Laura Podesta has more.
Officials in Columbus, Ohio released body camera footage just hours after a black teenager in the city was shot and killed by an officer. Columbus police say they were responding to a 911 caller who said someone was trying to stab them.
We think it's critically important to share as much information as possible.
Police say 16-year-old Michaela Bryant was trying to stab two people with a knife. The officer fires and Bryant falls to the ground. The teen was later pronounced dead at the hospital.
Deadly force can be used to protect yourself or the protection of a third person. So that is within the policy, and that was within the law. That is what the law says. Whether this complies with that will be part of that investigation.
But that claim of protection of the two other women did not stop protesters from taking to the streets into the night to demand justice for Bryant's life. Officials are calling for calm while the incident is investigated. It's unclear who started the initial fight or who called police. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
The matter is now in the hands of the Bureau of Criminal Investigation. The police chief says the officer is being put on administrative leave. Continuing our coverage, Billings police are investigating after discovering a woman's body in a home on Avenue B. It is the second time in less than a week a death has been reported on that street, and the crimes are related. The body was found at the home of Erica Miller. The 28-year-old and her boyfriend are already accused of beating and strangling her mother to death at another Avenue B home last week. The suspects were later found dead near West Yellowstone in what authorities called a homicide-suicide investigation. Police have not released the identity of the latest victim and say this investigation could take as long as a year to complete. The person police believe shot a 45-year-old Billings woman in the head on Monday is on the loose. Authorities say they do not believe the suspect is a threat to the public and was an acquaintance of the victim. The woman was taken to the hospital after multiple shots were fired through the door of her King Avenue East apartment. She remains in the hospital and there's no word on her current condition. Now we go to the courtroom where a Billings man accused of shooting and killing another man last December at his mother's home on 3rd Avenue South pleads not guilty. 28-year-old Lorenzo Harris is charged with felony deliberate homicide and tampering with evidence in the murder of 30-year-old James Williams. Documents state the men got into a fight and Harris shot Williams in the neck. He fled to Chicago and was arrested there in January. Court documents also show 3 images of Harris during a video call from the jail, holding up a sign that reads, "Tell Vel, get more than 4 people to say I wasn't there at that time. Everybody knew I was on the road back to Chicago with Alyssa and the kids by 12 a.m. The judge set Harris's bond at $1 million. In other news, a giant new natural gas plant could be on the way to Laurel. Northwestern Energy is planning to build a $250 million facility there. The Laurel Generating Station is part of the company's plan to boost what officials call long-term capacity resources. A spokesperson for Northwestern says they'll announce the plant's specific location in about a month, and the company wants it up and running by 2024. Northwestern must submit an application to the Public Service Commission. It could take up to 9 months for it to be approved. The Montana Democrat Party is suing to overturn 2 bills that will change the way elections are held in the state. Governor Greg Gianforte signed them into law this week. House Bill 176 removes the option for voters to register on Election Day, and Senate Bill 169 requires additional proof of residency for voters showing student IDs. The Democrat suit says the laws create unnecessary burdens on the ability to vote. The complaint argues there's no evidence the state's current laws were vulnerable to voter fraud and asks the court to stop the Secretary of State from enforcing them. Lawmakers advanced a pair of bills, both of which cut Montana's top state income tax rate. The plan is to pass both, but have them take effect on staggered dates. One bill drops the top income tax rate from 6.9% to 6.7% and will cost the state treasury about $30 million a year. If that passes, it will take effect in 2022. The other drops the top rate to 6.5% in 2024. It also gets rid of 24 tax deductions and credits and would drop thousands of low-income people off the state income tax rolls entirely. Democrats are widely opposed to both bills. They will be voted on in the House later this week. The Montana Senate has voted down a bill prohibiting gender transition surgeries for transgender youth, likely killing it for this session. House Bill 427 was set for a debate on the House floor yesterday, but leaders delayed the vote. Democrat Senator Bryce Bennett then moved to indefinitely postpone the bill. That motion passed with 8 Republicans joining all Democrats. A similar but broader bill to block additional procedures failed on the House floor earlier this session. Now closer to home, with a much anticipated busy flying season ahead of us, the Transportation Safety Administration is looking to hire. The Billings Jobs Jamboree kicks off today at Metro Park, and the TSA wants to hire 13 people. It's something those who already work for TSA say could be a dream job for anyone looking to change careers.
It's kind of nice because you have the ability to move around and to promote within the agency and still work for the same company. So it's great. It's different. There's a lot of diverse things about our job. We're always getting trained to find new threats, and so it always keeps you on your toes.
Today's hiring event is from 11:30 to 6. Wages start at $16.51 an hour, including benefits, paid training, and overtime pay. There's also a $500 hiring incentive. There's even assistance with the application